Pashupati Advani is with us of Global Foray. Pashupati, good to have you with us here. Thank you very much. I know you like fancy cars. I don't know about bikes, but any thoughts on Aisha?
Well, on an offside, I actually just got a bike license in the hope that I'll buy an EV before later in my life. So I have done that. So I'm waiting for the EVs. No, I think what has actually happened in the electric vehicle space is that people are concerned about batteries. People are concerned about a different technology coming into batteries. Plus, people are also saying that, we haven't got the infrastructure, certainly in India, to be able to cater to all the EVs that we're producing. So maybe it's better to go a little slow and let the infrastructure catch up. I mean, I know all the oil marketing companies are setting up charging points in their petrol pumps, but they're still slow. And if the number of vehicles crosses the number of chargers, there's going to be, there are already more vehicles than chargers. So that's causing some kind of a thing. It's like parking in a Bombay building, and you guys all live in Bombay, so you know what that's like. So similar to that, I think you've got those issues. And plus, as you said, if you've got, if you're living in a building and you don't have charging points, or you're parking your car outside, how do you actually, charge it, or your two-wheeler or your four-wheeler? So these are all questions that have to be answered. And I think he's probably doing the right thing by taking it a little easy to come in 25, because I guess the expectation for a good product is also there. Prashant?
Hi, Pashupati. Good afternoon, sir. What about Paytm? You've told us numerous times that you're quite positive on the stock. I think you made some money when you got in at around 500, and at higher levels you exited. But now it's around 850 rupees. Do you continue to remain positive on the stock? And what about the other names? Zomatos of the world, the Nykas of the world. Are you positive out there, or would you choose Paytm among these?
Well, out of that pack of four, big IPOs that came at that time, Paytm has been my favorite. I think it's the one with the proper model that works. As I said, I'm praying that it comes down into the 700s again, so I can re-enter. But it's easier said than done. It's been up over 900. Now it's at 850, around 850, I guess, the last time I checked. So, it is fun. Regarding the others, the reality is all these companies are still not really making money. So I think that as long as they have negative cash flow, it does pose some kind of an issue, on them. But, they are newer companies. They are companies that we're getting used to. Can you ask people what they would do without Swiggy and Zomato now? It's almost like household word for most people. And they're certainly benefiting from that. Obviously, if there's any kind of a recession in India, then they will cut back. But we're still following the US DoorDash, and even Uber has got into the space. So, those things are still going on. So I think these things are here to stay, at least the Zomato and Swiggy.
Pashupati, what have you made of the latest news flow on oil marketing companies? The LPG price cut, the possibility of some regulatory overhang ahead of the elections. The stocks have sold off nearly 5% in the last 2 days. I remember in a previous conversation you said you would look at OMCs, maybe as a tactical play. But now how would you approach oil marketing companies?
Well, I think what does happen in OMCs is that they do make money. With higher oil prices, they're the one, the petrol, the price at the pumps, there seems to be some cap on. So I think that their margins are going to get squeezed. So I think that's what's actually coming. And of course, they've also got to put in charging infrastructure, which is also going to cost them money. And again, like everything else, it's a capex, which is going to take time. But the reality is, I think the margins are going to get squeezed. And this $200 cut in gas is, in the cylinder price is obviously going to hurt them, because that 200 is going to come straight from their pockets. I think it seems to be, and it's a gift to the nation. It's a gift to the nation. It's a timely gift. It's a timely gift. We needed it because I think gas cylinder prices had gone berserk, but it is a gift to the nation.
A Raksha Bandhan gift to the nation, Pashupati, as the Prime Minister called it. Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. Speaking of elections, I remember last time we had you on the show, you said that you actually like, a couple of infrastructure companies. Some of them actually are doing pretty well today, Dilip Bilkon, and I noticed a few of the other stocks. Now, we're talking elections, it's election season. How would you look at this space? Do you think there's any last bit of infra spending left before we start getting into the next year code of conduct and all that? So is there a play left on infra stocks, or do you think the bulk of it is over because they've had a good run?
Well, there is obviously a huge push to complete projects. I think we've seen the Prime Minister inaugurate a whole bunch of railway stations. He's now also going to want to inaugurate a whole bunch of important roads. And he's got between now and middle of 24 before the elections to do it. He has to set up all these things. So there's huge pressure to deliver, to finish these last mile. And a lot of our infrastructure in the road space definitely is really suffering from a last mile problem. 250 kilometers done, 4 kilometers is left, 6 kilometers is left. So there's a huge push to get those done. And, the big infra boys are out there trying to get it done and, to make sure that the projects that the Prime Minister dreamt of actually becomes a reality before elections. So I think that they will be good, and the government is going to continue to spend in that sector very, very aggressively. And, because of that, you've also got jobs and things that come off it. So that's all very good for India Inc.
So, Pashupati, last time you gave us one name. You said Jay Kumar. You can't miss them, right? You're driving through Bombay. There's no way you'll miss a Jay Kumar board. Any new names, anything else? I mean, lots of players actually in the space. There's, NCC, there is Dilip, quite a few other names as well. Which ones would you look at, and what's your criteria?
The criteria is basically to look for ones which actually have a lot of work going. Jay Kumar's, despite the subways, the prices have gone up. I mean, it's now in the 400s. It was in the 300s, I think, when I was last on the show. And, it's doing well. So like that, the good ones are doing well. They're visible. And the thing is to just take nibbles from all of them because they're all going to benefit. Again, there is some systematic danger. Like if you don't get the the last mile sorted out, then, you are bleeding because you're not able to collect the last big chunk of money. But otherwise, they've all got multiple projects. And, the names you mentioned are the top of the pack and definitely should be invested in, like the Dilips, like the NCCs.
By the way, looks like at least the first attempt to protect 19,250 is taking place. The low was 19,253, and from there, the Nifty has seen an uptick of close to about 20 odd points. Pashupati, any thoughts on the new listing of the day, Aeroflex Industries? It listed with a much superior gain. I think it listed close to 190, 195. The issue price was 108, but right now it's settled with a gain of about 50%. That's 165. The company makes those metallic flexible hose pipes, or just hoses or pipes, which traditionally caters to your legacy industries like oil and gas, etc. But now, increasingly, reports seem to suggest that maybe these products of this company can be used for new age themes like lithium-ion batteries, the manufacture of semiconductors, EV, robotics, just saying all the right things. And that's also got the street quite fired up in its imagination. Did you look at Aeroflex Industries?
No, to be fair, Rima, I haven't. But the reality is that the IPO market had kind of got kicked all over the place. And I'm glad to see an IPO that's actually opened aggressively higher than its offer price. So I guess that'll get people back into the IPO market because there have been a lot of IPOs that have been very indifferent in the last couple of months. So I think that this is a definite step. Again, the industry, what is good about what you're telling me, and I honestly haven't followed the stock, is that this is a company that's reinventing itself, and they always say if you can find new uses for your product, you increase your markets. So I guess that's what Aeroflex has done, and happy for them, if you know what I mean.
Pashupati, I don't know if you've discussed Sula, but any thoughts on this one? I mean, it's a consumer company, so check in that sense. It's low penetration as of now, so that's another check. But what do you think of this one? Globally, though, I think one pushback I've heard is that globally it's more the beer companies which kind of have been able to scale. Now you can argue and say that the penetration is so low that even to get to 5-6% kind of penetration levels, there's a long road ahead. Any thoughts?
Well, alcohol companies. Well, on the one hand, alcohol is a major producer of excise, so therefore, I don't think the government is going to cut the feet off any of the booze companies or the cigarette companies, for that matter. I think India is at the point where more people are drinking wine, first beer and then wine, and I think that is a lifestyle shift, and that obviously will benefit Sula. It is very, very difficult to import any kind of wine into India because of the label requirements and the state-wise requirements. And Sula sort of jumps over all those because it's really a generic wine which can be sold in all the states. So, I mean, it's a play. I mean, if you like it. But again, we have a government that is basically Gujarati. You're not allowed to drink in Gujarat, ha ha ha. But, I think that it goes against the grain of what the government wants. So they'll let it survive, but they're not going to encourage it, I think. So that's my thought on the alcohol sector.
All right. We'll leave it there. Pashupati, thank you very much. Appreciate you joining in with that perspective. Thanks very much, as always. Well, I think we're at the new low.